don't take your kid ice skating.
Did you go ice skating?
She asked. We're at the age where she's asking for stuff. When they're little, you're like, I'm hoping you'll ask to like do something. And she asked because we saw Disney on Ice and she knows Elsa. I don't know if Elsa skates, but it's cold.
No, but it's cold.
Atahala.
Well, she makes ice and then but she doesn't have skates on.
Someone's wearing skates, I think, in the second one. I should know this because I watch it every night. And so she was like, I want to go skating. And I was like, I'm going to make it happen. It's something for us to do. She's always asking for stuff for us to do, just she and I. I go online. I'm like, LA ice skating, looking for a rink. And I see this thing called The Hill, which is up by the Sheraton, which is up by Universal City Walk. A place that I try to avoid at all costs because the parking is apocalyptic and you always end up going the wrong way toward Jurassic parking. And it's just a beast of a complex.
Did you get a reimbursement for your parking? Because you know at AMC, you have to pay $35 cash and then to park, and then AMC refunds you $30 cash. And it feels like money laundering.
That's insane. Also, I heard that that's a great theater.
It is. It's a nice theater, but it's too hard to park there, so I don't go there.
Anything involving Universal City Walk. Now, if you don't live here, it's the Universal theme park. And then City Walk is if you can't afford to go to the theme park, you can go to a giant outdoor mall that has like a Bubba Gump shrimp company.
And a lot of merch.
And it's just like a lot of families with kids sleeping at like 10 p.m. like in strollers. A lot of merch, a lot of Minion stuff. And it's like anything in the Universal Extended Universe. But they have a Sheraton there that does, like, it's like if you went to Disney and you wanted to stay at a decent hotel and they have breakfast, there's like events there because it's all like a part of the park that I've only ever gone to play Saddle Ranch in like 2007. Other than that, even when I have meetings at NBC Universal, I'm like, can I just Uber? So we go. I get her all excited all week. I get her dressed up.
I'm like, is this going to be the pumpkin patch again?
Every story is sad. When you take your kids to do anything, it's never like, and it was amazing. It's always like, and here's what went wrong. I got her a sweater. I remembered to bring gloves and extra socks, like all the shit you need. We get there. We walk into the park. It is 90 degrees in the baking sun. And I'm like, wouldn't this like help you with like energy costs and ice costs if you had a shade structure? And it's the last day before like Christmas is truly over. It's like January 5th.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, immediately take off your sweater, take off the little vest I got you. I'll take off. I go to take off my wool hat. I didn't bring a hair thing. So I'm like, I'll be the scumbag mom that's like, hat with like my stringy hair. Anyways, I get her skates on. I get my skates on. And I get her on the ice. She immediately starts flipping around, flopping around. So I'm grabbing the side because I haven't been ice skating in so long. I was a great rollerblader.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to hold on. She doesn't want me to hold on to the side. She wants me to hold on to both of her hands with both of my hands. So I immediately engage my core strength. Remember that I can skate. It doesn't go away. I'm not a great bike rider, but it is like riding a bike. So I'm like, okay, great. I can skate with her, no problem. And I'm like getting into it. She's not having a great time. You know, those like little walkers that you can rent. Mm-hmm. First of all, I had to pay for a locker, $5, because we live in a society where you can't trust anyone. I'm like, fine, I'll buy a fucking locker. It's all a part of the scam.
Yeah.
When you have kids, just sign up for at least $45 just going to garbage. And they have little walkers. They're in the shape of little polar bears. And I'm like, we go around once and I'm holding her. And I was like, let's get you a bear. And I go over, I go, can we grab one of those bears? They're like, you have to rent them. And I'm like, so I have to now walk in my skates with my daughter who doesn't know how to walk in skates. I get over there and the mom in front of me gets the last bear. And I was like 1% of me like really wanted to leave anyway. And I was like, okay. She goes, we can share it. And I look down and she's got like an 8-year-old boy. I was like, that boy is going around 50 times. Like that's not, I go, that's so sweet. That's okay. We walk back. I'm about to negotiate with the guy and be like, do you want tickets to the Comedy Store? Give me one of these bears.
There are no more bears for him to give.
That was the other thing. Have more bears.
Aren't enough.
This is for kids. It is a small rink. Save the 11-year-old decked out in full LA Kings hockey gear to go real fast around a rink that was 15 square feet because this is peak Southern California bullshit. So she starts to get upset. So we get on the ice. She starts crying. She goes, I want you to carry me. So now I am carrying a 25, 30-pound child with ice skates as I skate. I make it around one full time before I get stopped. They're like, you can't carry her. And I was like, okay, you don't have to tell me twice. I put her down And we get off the ice and somebody took a bear without buying it. And the woman comes up, she sees that like Sierra's struggling and she was like, let me see if I can get you a bear. She gets her a bear. And Sierra was so upset because she can't even stand in the skates. She has no context.
Right.
She was so upset. We didn't even get the bear. We took off the skates and went and watched some turtles in a nearby pond. And then I paid for the parking and I left.
How much did you pay for the parking? Do you recall?
It was an $80 day in under an hour when all was said and done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's that thing where I'm like, if I took you for a private lesson on an indoor rink, I think you'd like it. But like her life can't be like, well, let's get you a private one.
No.
See if you like it.
Would you take her to roller skate? Because I think
I
that's
would.
a little easier.
I also don't want her to like ice skating. It's
just
bad for the environment.
Don't get her into horses either. Like, don't get her.
That's what my mom said. No dressage for you. Ice skating is a pain in the ass. The equipment's expensive. It's all that's fine that you don't love ice skating.
Yeah,
you can go to a birthday party once every 6 years.
But a roller rink is fun.
Sure, whatever. It won't be the last time. I'm like, here's a bunch of money. Oops, you hated it. So,
well, is she liking her dance classes still?
Oh, I'm sorry. You mean the dance class that she was supposed to do Saturday on Friday night? They called and said the class was canceled.
Forever?
Just for Saturday. They're like, we don't have enough students. And I'm like, so now because you didn't want to pay one instructor to teach 2 kids, I'm going to cancel my tuition for the entire semester. And that's what we did. So that's 2 things.
What's her next activity? What's left for her?
Just watching a lot of TV and learning Spanish.
That's not bad. I mean, that's not a bad way to spend your time.
It's tough because you want your kid to dance, but I also want to be there and watch it. And they're like, we have classes at 4 p.m. on Thursdays. So you can sit in rush hour to come home. And she's just like a little young. I know there's like Russian kids out there doing the pommel horse, but we'll just have to settle for her being exquisite. The good news is I took her to an Armenian Russian grocery store yesterday because I was sad and wanted to buy caviar, and I did. And there's a little Russian girl on a chocolate bar, and it looked just like Sierra. So now we know that somewhere out there, Sierra's moonlighting as a Russian baby model.
Good for her.
But this is, we're back. It's January 6th. Many of you are on your flights back home from DC right now. And I do my best not to read the Patreon because I hear that people like it when I don't know the question. Now, for the most part, I don't know them, but I do a pretty good job of acting like I don't know it. It saved me being like, oh my God, I read this one. But I saw how many juicy updates and questions there were, so I didn't open them.
I mean, that's subjective, but we'll get into some stuff.
I did not open them. It's not subjective.
Well, that's not subjective. How juicy they are.
Yeah, I'm the one saying it. So that makes it juicy for me.
You okay.
They felt juicy.
All right. We'll see.
Context, like the one woman who updated about the raise that she wanted.
Yeah, that wasn't juicy. Good for her.
That was juiceless.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's bad, guys.
Nope.
But most updates are juiceless.
Skinny juices can be good too. And some people listening are probably like, where's that red hot update about the raise? So I'm ready. I think we just dive in. I think we give the people what we want.
What we want? That is what I'm going to do. I am going to give the people what I want.
You're like, I rule. I give you what I want. I dictate it to you and you will love it. It's juicy. It's not juicy.
Oh, that's not a good sound. What's in there? What's in that cup? Is it a coffee from several days ago?
No, it's water. I did make a banana cold foam this morning.
Banana?
You blend up a banana, milk, and ice.
Uh-huh.
And you put it over your coffee.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Oh.
Outstanding. It's a great way to get something a little healthy. I don't know if bananas have protein. A little bit of potassium, which no one knows what that does, into your coffee.
I hope bananas don't have protein.
Natural sweetener. I loved it. You can't feel bad about eating a banana.
No, I'm so happy for you.
I ate about 6 dates. I have the diet of a camel.
Yeah, what's going on
I love dates. I love dates.
Just what you can forage.
I love a meaty date.
No.
No.
All right.
Okay.
I am the asshole. New Year's edition. Love from DK. Am I the asshole?
Oh, I
Hi,
thought you were
Eliza.
saying like, I am. And I'm like, oh, we don't have to decide.
Well, I like that they phrase it because they're from Denmark. They just phrased it
I
like
am the
Yoda
asshole.
style.
Yes, of course
Yeah.
I am the asshole.
Hi, Eliza and Emily. Female, 28 years old. Single. I write here from Copenhagen in Denmark. Hope you come back soon to Copenhagen so I can see your show.
We know where it is. You don't have to say Denmark. No one's like, oh, Copenhagen, Nigeria? My favorite.
Your comedy always brings good laughter and love your way of being bold in your answers. So here I am in your inbox to find out if I am the asshole and advice.
Well, Emily, there's no Am I the Asshole segment. We don't fucking like Reddit.
No, I'm just asking you a question. Somebody can ask if they're an asshole without it being
You don't have, we can
TM
rebrand it.
Reddit. Well, this person said, I'm the asshole.
Well, they don't.
Look, I live in a big apartment with 4 roommates. We are 3 girls and 2 boys. I have lived here for 1.5 years and love it. We have so much fun together, and I'm very happy with my living situation. But when I moved into this apartment, one of the boys moved in at the same time as me. As soon as I saw him, I knew he was trouble. I broke up with my ex a couple of months before moving in, and in my period of grief, I developed a big crush on the new roommate, who I, by the way, shared a wall with. Ugh. He is a player and talks openly that he could never be in a relationship. And I've seen so many girls' hearts get broken from seeing him for a couple of months and then he dumps them. He's very charming, funny, and even though I think his behavior is bad news, my heart won't listen to my brain. We flirted from time to time, especially last spring, but the flirting was finally over this summer. Our friendship finally got normal, and then I made the big mistake of asking if he would sleep together while we were both drunk. He said no, and thank God for that. Our friendship has not healed totally since, but I'm trying to be cool and friendly. We talk openly together about dating and such. Here's the dilemma. I have 2 cousins that I love and are like 2 sisters to me. They're both female, 30 and 35. They know all about my crush, and I've talked to them about it the whole time I've lived here. They're both beautiful, especially my cousin that is 35 often gets a lot of attention from men.
Especially the older one.
She loves it and the male approval. She's been seeing a guy for 3 months. They're taking it slow because she's been burned before, and she has 2 kids divorced from their dad. Well, good. I'm glad she's divorced from their dad. So us in the apartment had a big, great New Year's Eve party. Started with dinner, and before 12 o'clock, more people came to the big party. My cousins came for dinner, and my roommate and cousin sat across from each other. Later in the evening, I was made aware that they were flirting, and I didn't think much of it because I thought she would never react to it. But then I saw them dance together and flirt a lot.
It's a big
I
apartment.
sent the other
Dancing.
5 people are living there. I sent the other cousin after her saying she can't kiss him. My
Ooh.
35-year-old cousin took me aside and asked why she couldn't get the approval from him that she wanted, that he winked at her at dinner and that they have a... Okay, I don't speak another language, and I think this person's incredible
Hey, Emily,
at their
what's
English.
that language? What do they speak in Copenhagen?
don't.
In Denmark. What language is it?
Dutch? Deutsch? What do they speak?
So not Dutch and not German.
What?
Speak Danish.
Danish. All right. Okay.
I know, but it's the one I
but-
always forget too. I'm like, oh, that's right. Danish.
I'm gonna read you this sentence as it's written. Okay. Then he winked at her at dinner and that they have a cemetery. No, I actually mean chemistry.
Oh. I was like, I don't
They have chemistry.
Oh, maybe it was like
But
we're
just-
both so tired that we're dead. Together, we have a cemetery.
I just at that word swap in particular really
Please.
tickled me.
Name the episode. We have a cemetery.
They have a cemetery.
Strong cemetery.
So, but
I'm gonna
great.
fail
This letter's
cemetery
great.
if I don't study.
I said it would crush me if she did anything with him.
Wait,
She
so
didn't
can I just
Yeah.
pause?
Yeah.
They're making eyes at each other, and that cousin comes up to you, and she's like, "We are having a cemetery.
Yeah.
Why do you care?"
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's drunk. She's like, "What's the big deal? He obviously doesn't want you. Why
Yeah.
can't we kiss? I'm horny. I'm 35, and I just want to kiss someone on New Year's."
Yeah. So our girl is like, she didn't understand and asked why. I said it would hurt me, mostly because maybe I still have feelings for him that I can't do anything about. And it's hard to see my cousin get the attention that I can't get. Both my
Okay, that's
cousins,
very Scandinavian honest of you.
like so authentic. Like, yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. That's it.
Blown away.
both my cousins questioned why I said it was not okay. They both said I should let it go and let her have some fun with him.
Oh, it's so Danish. It's so ice cold. Like, if he's not attracted to you and he is to me, why would I not be able to have him? He's clearly not into you. I love it. I want to live there so bad.
These are your people.
Yeah.
I got mad and said, I don't understand why it's hard to understand. Just don't do it. Don't kiss him or other stuff like that. There were other guys at the party. He is the only one that I feel strongly against. She passed the evening flirting further with him, but I don't think they ever did anything because I asked her not to. I can still feel that I am mad and that my roommate is mad at me because he didn't get the lady fix that he wanted. It's me who lives with him and is going to hear everything. I'm just so mad that some girl's going to need a guy's attention and feel good enough about themselves. Is it me being selfish or is my behavior justified? I can't tell. And I'm scared that my friendship with my roommate is ruined or that my cousins won't understand. Hope you both had a wonderful holiday. New Year's. Lots of love from Ava.
Ava, how old are you?
Ava is
in America,
28.
Yeah. I was like, I feel like in Europe, it's people have roommates longer, flatmates. Yeah. It's tough because it's really hard for me to like go back in time and remember ever not being hot enough that I couldn't have what I wanted. No, I've been in that situation where you have the friend that's like, I like this guy, please don't. I've been on that. I've been there as the girl that's like, why not? Like, he doesn't like you. Here's what's tough. There's actually a couple issues here. What's tough is that these cousins are like sisters, which would explain why they backstabbed you. But these cousins are there are people you're close to. You are not insecure, but you're stating like they're very attractive. You think they're more attractive.
One of them
than you.
is. One of them's more attractive.
One's got a weird eye. Got it. Fine. Doesn't matter if you have two. You've said to these people, you said to this 35-year-old cousin that you like this guy. You've told them all of this. You were vulnerable in communicating that. And she is basically like, I don't care what you think. I'm bored. Now, neither of them were trying to date each other. If this guy doesn't, look, by the way, it is such a 28-year-old guy thing to be like, I don't want a relationship. That's just him letting you know he doesn't want one. The answer is I don't want a relationship with you. I don't want a relationship with anyone I'm telling this to, but he might want one with someone else. Will he want a 35-year-old divorcee with 2 kids? Probably not, but he will fuck one.
Yeah.
There's a couple things. You don't, and you shouldn't have to hear anyone having sex, but you definitely don't want to hear your family. But let's not pretend this is about that. This is about, you said, I really like this guy. You're struggling with those feelings of someone you live with, which is complex. And your cousin heard that and was like, well, whatever. I do think girls in their 20s and immature women have this thing. I did have a friend like this who would like say she liked certain guys in our extended group. And like that guy was just off limits, even though, not that I wanted him, but like I watched over the years her getting weird if he dated anyone. And you're like, he doesn't like you. You cannot mark this person. Like, you can't like save them for later.
You can do that for maybe one person in a group. You can't have multiple people you're sitting on.
No, and she's not. The issue is you said this and it's like, of all the guys in Denmark, why this one that I live with?
Right.
Which speaks to the selfishness of your cousin. And now you're kind of the creep. You cock blocked him. Right.
And he's not happy about that. He's like, why can't I?
I don't think you guys are friends because if he were your friend, even if you didn't like him, it's still like a shitty thing to be like, I'm going to fuck your cousin. I mean, it kind of.
He knows you like him.
I guess, but part of me is like, I don't know. If it's a guy and I'm not attracted to him and he's like, I like you. And I'm like attracted to his friend. It's like, I don't owe you anything. I never said I liked you. We never dated. It's just sticky because you live together. It really speaks more to your cousin's character. But she's also right. She's like, what is the big deal here? It's shitty. You might have to think twice about what you share with her. I think your relationship is going to be a little hurt now. But it's funny because everybody is saying the thing that we normally don't say when we have these questions. Normally, I'd be like, you need to tell her that this hurt your feelings. And you're like, I have expressed all of my fears of my inadequacies. I think 10 years from now, you'll look back and be like, wow, I was being really immature, but these feelings are real. It hurts. You love him. And it's exacerbated by the fact that you live together. So this guy is like the only guy. The sun rises.
Well, there's other guys who live here, but yeah.
You like him. So this is the only, you see him, you share a wall, you guys are close. and he's not into you, so it hurts even more.
Yeah.
You are going to have to let it go. And you don't want to become the creepy girl. And so I honestly suggest, first of all, this guy feels like he's going to move out soon, but I suggest you
He can't afford a place on his own.
get some hobbies that take you out of the house. Go out there, like just try to be away from this person. My concern is you coming off as a weirdo.
Yes.
I don't want you to be the creepy girl that like lives next door that's like, what are you doing? And controlling what he does or doesn't do. And you guys are honest. And so I do think there's a fairness in being like, look, I liked you and I can't help it. I'm going to move on. I'm going to do stuff. I just hope that we're cool. You don't want to be this like weird rock in his shoe, but it is incredible. It shows you, by the way, his consideration for you. You guys are not friends. He does not care about you. And your cousin is selfish. All that being said, you need to move on and not let this bother you anymore. And just, it's an indicator of their character, not yours.
Yeah, you're not an asshole and you handled this very maturely and well. And it's like,
well, there was alcohol and I can see being pulled into different rooms. Like, why not? I like him. Why don't you? And this guy's thinking like, I don't like you. I said I didn't want to sleep with you. Let me make out with your cousin. And the truth is, you got to move past it. But you'll never be able to forget that your cousin was like kind of shitty. And this guy has no love for you.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he shares with you like who he dates and like you share back, like that's fine. But like people have those conversations all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, but good work.
Yeah, like you don't want to have a big thing. You're like, I don't care who you have sex with because that means you really do care. I would just try to limit my interaction with this person. That's it. That's a tough one. But you all have some growing up to do.
Okay.
You never slept with him. You never dated him. You just liked him and he didn't. He was very clearly didn't like you back. So you've got to move on.
No, but
you
it's
don't
also
get to
like,
claim him.
I could see if I'm her being annoyed at the 35-year-old who has a boyfriend also being like, and I'm going to make out with the guy you like.
I'm sorry. She has a boyfriend? Did I miss that?
It was mentioned very briefly. The 35-year-old has a boyfriend.
I'll be honest. I missed it because in my head, I was like, Copenhagen is in Denmark, right? It's not Dutch, it's Danish. And then I grilled you for it. But in doing so,
you were too busy trying to play a real gotcha.
I really was. Your cousin is a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
If it's about flirting, fucking whatever. People get drunk, you're bored, but your cousin sucks. So no wonder you left her. Let's move on.
My brother's dating a succubus. Dear Iliza, Emily, and the pod
She's
crew.
Dutch. Okay.
First off, thank you for making me laugh every week. Your podcast is the highlight of my commute. After years of laughing at other people's problems, I'm finally submitting my own.
It's time to come home.
I never thought about it like that.
Everyone's got to pay the piper.
Yeah.
You run on your problems. It is not free.
I need some sisterly advice on a heavy conversation I need to have with my younger brother, Theo.
This is a girl then, for sure.
A girl.
This is a girl. Okay.
Based on the name.
I can feel it's a female energy.
Yes. Here's the situation. Theo, 28, and his girlfriend, Maya, 30, are in what seems to be a deeply imbalanced and emotionally manipulative relationship. My husband and I, 30, as well as some of Theo's close friends, are super concerned about their dynamic. Theo recently moved to Lisbon for a job as a developer, a job he loves at a company he's super invested in. Maya stayed behind in rural Oregon, and they've been doing long distance.
Oh, cool. That's definitely a direct flight from Eugene to Lisbon. Hot direct.
Eugene. I've only met her twice, but they recently spent 2 weeks with us over the holidays. Seeing them interact raised so many red flags. Some examples. Every morning, Theo needs to wake Maya with coffee and breakfast in bed to put her in the, quote, right mood. She stays in bed half the day and can't really do anything until after lunch.
Why?
Sounds great.
An autoimmune disorder? Why?
Whenever Theo wants to have a serious
Does she have to go back to her human form out of like a sea witch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whenever Theo wants to have a serious conversation about their future, she says she's not in the mood to talk about it and says he has to find a better time for them to talk. How many times did that happen while they were staying at your house?
But also, how do you know that?
Right.
How do you know that? Did you see it happen or did Theo tell you? In which case, Theo is telling you he's unhappy, but I'd be interested to know, and you won't ever follow up because my children never come home.
I want to say, for all the people that are going to reach out to me and say, I did update, just like Iliza asked, you did, and I didn't read it because it was not interesting.
That's true. Some of your updates are ice cold, and you're
And
like,
that's
just
not your fault.
I did wear corduroy.
Good. You did what you were supposed to do, but not every update needs to be on the show.
I'm asking for fucking intel, insight. Okay.
So,
not in the room. What else?
Maya doesn't work, has no career plans, and contributes little to household tasks. My toddler helped with more chores than she did while they were with us. Theo, meanwhile, works all day and does most of the housework, dishes, laundry, cooking, etc.
Okay, what house?
Right. Like, did Theo do all those things at your house?
Like, what's happening here?
Okay. On vacation with us, she stays up late, derails family plans the next day, and overrides Theo's opinions during discussions with the most annoying and unrelated stories and opinions. She subtly puts him down in almost every conversation. Things like, I can't believe you didn't know that. And I told you to do it this way. I already knew how. Finally.
Like a big sister. That's what I would say to my brother.
Liza, you're not going to believe the buildup that we've had to this. Okay. Do you hear? Oh, she does the chores. She lays in bed. Finally, Maya has a quote cuddle buddy that she promises up and down they don't have sex, but just sleep together back in Oregon because she has so many issues sleeping while Theo has remained fully committed to her.
Oh my God. But even I believe they don't have sex, and that's actually even worse.
Yes.
Because it's fucking weird. Oh my God.
You're right. On top of that, Maya refuses to move to Portugal or make any effort to get a visa. Instead, she's pressuring Theo to leave his dream job and move back to rural Oregon, which would derail the career he's worked so hard to build. From my perspective, this relationship seems one-sided, with Maya dictating their future while offering nothing in return. I mean, you don't know what she's offering. She could be really good.
She's probably offering full suction blowjobs every time he comes home. Full suction.
Full. Like a vacuum. No.
That was both balls.
I don't. Oh no. This is
like that egg sucker thing in Mario 2.
Well, what about? Do you remember that? Do you remember that lady with the grapefruit? That like early internet where she's a grapefruit and she's like, rah, 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 like the Cookie Monster.
Yeah. Can we show that?
I'll play the audio. I'll give Scott the audio.
Yeah.
Once he's nice and erect, what you're going to do is replace the grapefruit from your mouth. You're going to twist up and down on his shaft and suck the head at the same time.
Oh my God. I love being a millennial. Anyways.
So we don't know what she offers except for that. Theo seems blind to the profound imbalance, and I worry he'll make sacrifices he'll later regret for a person who isn't worth it. I want to talk to Theo, but I'm scared of coming across as overbearing or judgmental. I genuinely don't know if I'm misjudging the situation. Should I bring it up with Theo? Should I stage an intervention and risk our relationship? I'm hopeful he's receptive to this information, but it could also blow up in my face and he won't speak to me again. Thank you for amazing insights, for everything you do, Jennifer.
Jennifer, I will give you the advice that I give women when they are like, I don't like the guy my friend is dating. I don't like this. What do I do? I'm going to risk it all. And I always ask this, what's the worst that could happen? Right? At the very least, if he was like, I love her, I love being a beta, I love being fully dominated, you will have been heard. At the very least. Worst case scenario, he's like, no way, you don't fucking get it. I never want to talk to you again. You're not going to lose your brother. And if you do, then that's fine because you've lost this like husk of a person. At the very least, say what you need to say and it will be a voice in the back of his head. It seems like you have a sweet relationship because you're not saying to me like we've always had it, tumultuous relationship and he doesn't trust me. It seems it would be weird, especially because this isn't like you talking about like your best friend's abusive boyfriend and she loves the drama. It would be weird if you said this in a sweet way and he fully lashed out. So I think you very gently plant it. I don't know how receptive he'll be, but you can be like, hey, I just want to say when you guys were visiting, like, and then just kind of put it out there and give examples and he'll defend every single one. This is your chance to be like, I don't like her for you. I love you. You worked hard at this career. And maybe there was someone else that noticed it. Hopefully it's not just you. I mean, then you run the risk of like, oh, you guys were all thinking about it, judging me. You can just say, I always want to make sure I don't like the way she puts you down. I don't think she has your best interests in heart. You've worked hard for this career. She has made zero effort. And I don't like that she has a cuddle buddy. She's cheating on you. She's making you a cuckold in front of all of us. Your brother might like an older woman. He might like a woman who bosses him around. He might like a more domineering woman. That's fine. But there has to be a balance. And you can even be like, what does she do for you besides a full suction blowjob every Tuesday?
Only once a week. Well, I guess only when he flies back from Lisbon a couple times a year. I mean, that's the bigger
other thing.
I think rather than going beat by beat, like you gave us a list of all these smaller things. I think like the big thing is, hey, you have this career that's in Lisbon. When's she moving out there? And if she's not, like, I hope that you wouldn't give up your career that you've worked so hard for her.
At 28 you have no time. I also don't know how long they've dated. But as a 28-year-old man, like the world is your oyster. You're in this city that is incredible. Your fear is that he's missing out on life while he quietly like shelters in place for this girl. They don't have a plan. And like the biggest indicator out of all of this is that every time you mention the future, which is incredible that he wants to do that, she has no answer. And you need to say to him, a 30-year-old woman is champing at the bit. Horse's champ, Liz. Is champing at the bit to have a man put plans in place.
Yeah.
That's a red flag. And it isn't like, oh, you both are like, it's whatever. He wants a future. She doesn't. That says everything. You do not have to be heavy-handed. You could even write this in an email so you can say everything, like put all the evidence there. But like, I know with my own mom, things in life, like I remember I brought a guy home for a date and she just said something like, he's beneath you. Like she didn't say anything. I don't remember that, but she was like, I don't like him. It wasn't like, here's what I don't like. There's little things that people who love us can just say. You're not going to scream about it. You're just like, just one thing, like she's taking advantage of you. And that small thing, like a rock in your shoe, will just kind of rattle around.
Yeah.
You don't have to say that much. And he also might, I'm also interested to know how you came upon some of this information we were talking about earlier. Because if he's telling you these things, then he is either subconsciously.
He's already receptive.
Yeah. And maybe he needs like just that push, but you don't like her. I don't like the cuddle buddy thing. I think that's fucked up. That's something you do at like 17 and you're like, I promise we're not. Of course you are.
I'd be so mad that it's like a repeated. I'd be like, just have a different friend over every night. Like, I don't want you to just have one person that you get in bed with.
I think if I had that much information, I would say something. If you're not physically afraid of this woman.
To her, no.
Yep.
Are you kidding me? She's going to be laying in bed waiting on her breakfast. She doesn't care. She'll be like, what? Your brother's with me.
Here's what she wants. Here's what it is. They have great sex and that's it. And she probably treats him like an abusive mom and he's into it. I'd be interested to know the relationship with your mom. He sounds like he kind of doesn't know what he wants. It sounds like maybe they've been together a while. He's just kind of like a quiet guy, whatever. She's getting everything she wants. I bet you he's sending money to her. She's getting
probably
everything.
Since she's not working.
And then every time they talk, she's like, I love you. And like, she's just abusive enough that he has Stockholm syndrome. And she's getting everything she wants. So of course she doesn't want to talk about the future because she wants to do this as long as she can while she's fucking someone else and abusing your brother. Why would she ever want it to change? Men do this all the time. Like, you're getting that milk for free. I promise you he is paying for wherever it is she lives. And that's fucked up. Yeah. Point that out to him. Be like, you are paying for this woman to have sex with other men and then be shitty to you when she sees you and begging for the privilege to do so.
Yeah.
Let us know. Happy New Year.
All right, let's listen to an animal song. I sent you one to your email.
Also, if you can go visit your brother in Lisbon, do it not just because Lisbon is awesome, but like maybe you can like be like, hey, look at all these hot Portuguese girls.
But go wingman him with the
you want to fuck my brother and eat incredible seafood? Folks, it's now time for the segment that's taken over the nation. Animal songs. Animal songs. Your mouth is so small. Animal songs. I give it my all. Squeeze your body. I give you a kiss. Animal songs. This time I won't miss.
My animal song is for my fluffy orange cat, Mr. Two Toes, Tootie for short. It's to the tune of something I can't quite put my finger on. Maybe someone will recognize it. But the song goes like this. Tootie toot, Scooter McBoot, you got a lot to do now. Tootie toot, Scooter McBoot, scooting all around the house now.
You got it. 2x4, building your own burger. I don't know what the song is.
It was almost started like ABC, the Jackson 5, but not
No.
quite. That's more specific.
No, ABC's is dun-na-na, and this was dun-na-na, dun-dun-dun, ra-ta-dee-da-da-da-dee-doo.
I'm sure
know.
someone will know. I just feel like these songs, I love the approach everyone takes to setting them in, that they're kind of like, sometimes they're super confident, sometimes they sound a little nervous, but whenever they start singing the song, they're just like, yeah.
Got to get into it. I would like to hear some men. You want to sing a song about your iguana, your blow-up doll? I would like to hear men send in their songs about their pets.
I wonder if I've gotten men and I just haven't played them yet. Let me do it.
As someone who has also had an orange cat, they are our muses. They are worthy of singing to.
Okay, back to questions. Okay, so this question, I'm going to read you the question that was posted on Patreon 2 days ago, and it already has an update, but I'm going to read you the question first, and then I'll read you the update because it does. Okay. My best friend's husband is an asshole. So it's another, we're dealing with people's partners.
Here we are again.
Hi, AI crew. I'm hoping you can help me with my predicament. My best friend's husband is not a very nice person. It seems that he will get really bad, belittle her, like emotionally abusive. He expects her to be the main caregiver of their child while also taking care of his kid from another relationship whenever he comes down to visit them. He doesn't think that taking care of a child is work, and he won't help pay for daycare because she works from home and she should be able to do both, right?
Oh!
Their last fight, he said to her, 3 strikes and you're out, meaning if she makes him mad again, that's strike 3. Who says that to their partner? She has had to start therapy because she's been depressed, stressed, and not able to cope. And he said, quote, don't use my benefits, medical benefits.
Jesus.
She has run herself into the ground and doesn't take care of herself anymore. She is a shell of a person. My problem is this whole situation is mind-boggling. She's aware I don't like him, but at this point, apparently they are, quote, fine. And he's, quote, trying really hard.
Oh,
I just don't want her to be
grossest
settling.
phrase.
I know. Because they have a child together. How do I remain supportive but not get pissed off about the reoccurring problems caused by her husband and her not standing up for herself and making a change for the better? Side note, he's ruined our plans before because he's either upset her or uses weaponized incompetence in regard to their child. Thank you so much, Jar Jar Binks, according to Eliza. Here's the update.
Red hot update.
I just
Isn't
found
it
out
Char?
Char. Oh, yeah. CHAR. Char. I just said char.
Char.
Like it's a burger. It's like Charo.
Char Binks.
This is
Lisa.
update.
He died.
Did you see Heretic?
I didn't.
There's a scene where Hugh
We're
Grant
in the middle of my show. I didn't see it.
Hugh Grant does a Jar Jar Binks impression, and it's not good. He doesn't even say Misa. And so I was like, what are you doing? He says something else. So anyway, you did better than Hugh Grant. So update. I just found out that she is pregnant. She sent me a pic with huge excitement about the news. I then find out that when she told her husband, he had no excitement, stating he wasn't expecting this. Imagine getting your wife pregnant with neither of you using protection, and doesn't think their home is big enough to accommodate 2 children and his son who comes every weekend to visit. I feel so sad for her. I feel like this is some of these questions, guess what? You can't help.
I would abort that child. People are going to hate that I said that. Well,
don't tell your friend that. Don't tell your friend. I don't like your husband.
If you
and also
can.
You should abort your child.
You already have one child with this man, correct?
Yes, she has one child with him.
I have to say this to you. His weaponized incompetence, his abuse, his him being selfish. Also, him getting her pregnant is another way that men trap women. He did it on purpose. Now she's dumb and she also is abused, so she can't see the forest for the trees. You see this. And I cannot believe that this is my example I'm about to point out, but like Cardi B and her loser ex-husband Offset, who we all had to suffer through her promoting him for years. Meanwhile, this guy has never made a song that was a bop, in my opinion. Dimmed her light, and after she was like, she broke up with him, he's like, I got you for 5 kids, like I got you, and he's right. Like, this woman was at the height of her career, and it's like, oh, you're just gonna keep having kids with this man who like is not as good as you. And this is a thing that guys do. They do not think about how a second child will affect the woman. They just know now, like, now you definitely have to depend on me. And I'm mad at you for doing it.
We can't afford 2 kids in daycare. You have to quit your job and take care of them at home.
Right. And once you quit your job, then you'll be financially dependent on me. And then I can control everything. I'm not saying this guy is a master manipulator, but this is right out of that playbook. And I know as women, we get dinged for identifying these things, but this is a one-way ticket to him hitting her and probably eventually killing her. But this is a one-way ticket to full-on abusive situation. So you're not going to like that I'm saying this. She's obviously excited, but if it's early enough and you can get rid of it, I would. Doesn't sound like she's going to do it. It doesn't sound like your friend is strong enough to understand how bad this is and where this train is heading. And it affects you in terms of like the plans that you guys are doing. You will just have to, you can be there for your friend. You can say your piece. But you also, did she say she has kids? I don't think she did. You also have a life. I don't know if you're married and you guys have something with your partner or you're doing something with your life. You know, you're dating or you've got a career, you've got other friends, but like it will become a full-time job for you. So you didn't say it was your best friend. Caring for this girl and factoring
it
her
is
in.
her best friend. I'm so sorry.
Then you need to say to her all the things that you're saying here. And it eventually, she probably won't even be allowed to see you. Like eventually he will turn out like, I don't like her. I hope that you have a partner so that you have someone in your corner, because if you don't, he will make you out to be like this single, jealous, shitty friend. And I hope your friend is smart enough to know that like that's a part of the playbook as well. If you are best friends, you need to say all this to her. You need to. And you cannot be what helps her. You can't be like, I mean, if she wants to stay with you for a night or something, but like, if you need help moving out, I will do that. If you need help calling a place that you can go, be like, please hear me. This man does not love you and is just trying to hurt you. And the fact that she's having to say to you, like, he's trying, now you're in this weird position where she feels she has to like explain to you how it's going. That's shitty too. You're not the judge. You're not in charge of her. I feel like in a lot of situations like this, it either is the friend says something and it wakes up the friend that's in trouble, or you just slowly lose them. And it sucks, but all you can do is from the bottom of your heart, say all this. You have to say your piece.
Yeah, it sounds like our question asker has been pretty honest with the friend and said she doesn't like this guy. But I think, yeah, this is like a real come to Jesus. You're having another kid with this man who does not like you.
And she's clearly complained. And that's okay. We're all allowed to vent. But like me venting because like my husband didn't do the dishes, which is so far from the truth. He always does them.
He would never not do the dishes.
I didn't clean the banana milk. Is different than her secretly asking for help like this.
Yeah.
And there will be a point where you'll have to just walk away because it's too hard to watch.
Yeah.
Maybe let her listen to this podcast. But like, also, I don't believe in this world where it's like, I didn't abort the baby and I can't believe you said that. Let's move away from that. It's okay to tell someone to get rid of a pregnancy that they end up loving. And it's like, great, I'm glad you did. Doesn't mean you hate the kid. It means I hate the person that you had it with.
This stands after last week. After last week, you're like, you know, we talk about tough things here. I talked about miscarriage this week. You're like, I should be able to tell someone they should abort their child.
I've had an abortion.
I
Like,
know.
What is the fucking problem?
I know. A lot of people should have. A lot of people
Unless you live in one of these states where they've made it illegal for you to wipe your own vagina. All you are doing is condemning yourself to a life of being financially shackled to this man. Because we've had the later in life version. We've had the down the road version of this question on this podcast before, which is how I know what happens next, which is what you just pointed out. Well, now you've got to take care of the kids. Now you have to quit your job. Men like this want a woman, like a full Taliban wife. Oh my God, your cats are fighting.
They're fighting, right? Like, I'm trying to do something. Excuse me. Okay. That's all we got for that question.
I feel really bad for that woman.
I know. It's
And by the way,
tough.
this isn't like he's an idiot and she can be like, because first of all, he needs you more than you need him because he needs someone to take care of his other kid. I have a feeling if she's like, I'm out of here, he will kill her. Nobody who acts like this is like, and then I went on to be a good guy.
Right. Like, oh, you know what? I was just stressed at work.
You got a full-time job. You keep that job. Tell her, do not ever let go of that job.
Yeah.
Because then it'll be like, go inside, shut the windows, and have sex with me every single night, full suction.
Okay, let's do one quick follow-up.
Are you going to call this episode Full Suction Blowjob or are you going to call it Dutch Cemetery? Sorry, Danish Cemetery.
It wasn't Danish cemetery. It was something about having cemetery.
But that doesn't matter. She was Danish and she said cemetery.
Okay. But we've already had an episode that had the word Dutch in it. Dutch
You're
Truth
right.
Sword.
Dutch Truth Sword. Okay, this is Danish, but I think you should call it Full Suction Danish Cemetery. Full Suction
We don't
Blowjob.
We don't combine. This isn't how the naming works. We pick something that was actually said in the episode, not a combo of different funny things from the episode.
I'm saying it now. Full Suction Blowjob in a Danish cemetery. Please.
I don't know if we're allowed to put blowjob in the title of the episode.
Full Suction Beach.
Okay, I'll think on this. And we're leaving all this in so that it's part of the episode so I can pull from it.
Full Suction Blowjob.
Okay, here's one follow-up because it was one we wanted more details on, which was, remember, we had the woman who was having panic attacks and her partner was like, F you, I don't care. You're stressing me out with all your panic and anxiety.
That's right.
And we were like, what is happening over there? Like, what's been going on? Have you just been breaking down every day? Like, what's going down?
Yeah.
So she says, to give more depth on the vagueness of my answered question on the episode An Audit of Shame, for 4 months leading up to my breakdown, my partner was jobless and I took on everything financially. The panic attacks started around the time she finally found a job and then quit that job. They started out once a week, then ramped up to every day. So my physical symptoms were super high heart rate, heart palpitations, etc. I always tried to keep it to myself until it scared me. My family has always been pushing our family history of heart disease on me. Every conversation came with a comment of, you're getting older, it's time to go to a cardiologist. So having panic attacks in my brain was my heart being the issue, not my brain. I've had the hardest time speaking to my partner about my stress because now she's working, so she's always more stressed than I am. My job is high stress as it is at a car dealership where I have the job of 4 people. My official title is administrative assistant, but I'm also the warranty administrator. I would bring work home a lot if I didn't finish while I was there. I got to the point where I could barely function while I was at work, and I took the step to get help because while I was at home, I wasn't being heard. All I wanted from my partner was like a hug or my head to get rubbed. And what I got when I was going through this was nose in the phone, didn't want to be bothered because she was watching TikTok lives about politics. The shift was burnout due to being the only one doing everything. I felt like I had to have everything done before she got home because when we'd have a conversation about splitting responsibilities, she would say I don't do anything because she would do laundry once in a while. I've always been the person she calls when she's having a hard time, the person she'd vent to about drama at work. All I wanted and asked for was the same understanding, compassion I've given for the last 8 years. Now that I've been on my medication for the last month and I stopped taking work home, my stress is way down, but the lack of splitting responsibilities is still a very big avoided by her subject. I was just asking for a change in an unhealthy lifestyle.
Well, this is a completely different question than
This
the
is
one
a
that you-
completely,
Yeah.
right.
This is what's tough, folks. Like we always try to take you for your word. This completely changes around because the way that you phrased it, and I'm not digging you for like not being a better writer. The way that you phrased it was that like you sounded like a little dramatic and your partner, the way it was coming off was kind of like over it. And now what you're telling me is that you were anxious and rightfully so because you were supporting them. 8 years is a long time. That's a marriage, whether you're married or not. But that is something that will give you anxiety. Your partner not having a purpose or an income. And then of course you get nervous when they quit that job, which is kind of bullshit, but okay. And you're saying, I mean, look, you're different people, which is why you're attracted to each other. But you're like, I've given you all this love and care. And now you just want to come home and look at TikTok, which will ruin a relationship. And I'm not getting that same support. So you probably need to break up with this person or have a very serious come to Jesus. And the come to Jesus is about you being heard and do it in a very calm way. They will defend themselves. It's not about what you are saying as much as how they are receiving it. If I tell you something that is hurting me and hurting our relationship, and I'm telling you because I care about our relationship and you come back at me with all the things that I'm doing wrong or like, oh, I guess I'm not perfect. That's the bigger issue. Not being heard will cripple you. I can tell you that as an artist. I can tell you that as a comedian. But as a human, like just your mental health, not expressing yourself, not having a voice wrecks you. So you need to say all of this just to see where you guys stand emotionally 8 years in.
Right, because this issue is not an issue of like, yes, you've gotten the panic attacks under control. That's not the issue. The issue is in a low moment, like in sickness and health. In sickness, your partner was just like, ugh, I'm watching TikToks.
Yeah, and like, I mean, that's fine if they're like, all right, look, you're acting crazy. Let's just talk about it or something. But to ignore you completely and you're all by yourself in this relationship, this is about how they receive what it is that you're saying. I can tell you that even in my lowest, most self-loathing moments of frustration or anger, not at Noah, but at myself or my career or the world, it's always met with him at least listening quietly. It's never met with him like, well, I guess I just suck, or I guess everyone's just out to get you. Like it's always, at the very least, comforting or quiet.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that person, unless you work in politics, and even then, like, I don't have TikTok on my phone. I upload videos to it, whatever, via my social media person, but like it will, Instagram wrecks your brain, TikTok devours it wholly.
Yeah, but I think this is also a good example of like some updates we don't read because they're just like, yep, it all went well. Some updates are important because I think when you hear us answer the question, you realize the pieces that felt so
missing.
clear to you
That's
that you
right.
didn't even say. So that's always interesting. So we appreciate the update, and hopefully now our new help will help you. And now it's time for Cobbs.
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite, top of the cob.
Fan bottom from Laura. After listening to the episode An Audit of Your Shame, I am now self-conscious of my tiny mouth butthole every time I sip the straw of my Yeti at work.
That's your bottom. That should be your top. Now you know.
That you've been helped, Laura.
It's like this. Like, hey, you guys.
I like how you didn't really take a sip. Like you really were like,
There's no
I'm
liquid in
faking it.
here. I'm not actually using a Stanley. Shout out to Sirius. Thank you for the Stanley. But still, like,
Hey, you guys, let me put you on to these 6 hacks for how to eat a tomato. You guys make a water with me. 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen.
Have you ever filmed something where you've carried a cup?
yeah, I've done.
And they're always like,
Have
and
I?
the people drink out of a cup on TV and there's no weight in the cup, so they look like an idiot.
Oh, you mean like that in a movie? Actually, I am an expert at identifying if there's coffee in your cup. And it is the one thing when Noah and I watch TV, I'll be like, I know when someone's wearing fake hair and I know when there's no liquid. And you will watch Oscar-winning movies and I'm like, there's no coffee in that cup. Because you don't move your hand around when there's liquid in it. Right.
And I get that they can't have a liquid in there or whatever. I don't know. But it's like, put a rock in there. Weight
Something.
it. Give it some weight. What is the problem?
Incredible actors will just be flailing around a coffee cup in a
Or
police
it's almost
station.
like turning it over.
Like
or
we're in
yeah.
outer space. All right,
Yeah.
next one.
Okay, my bottom of the cob is had Christmas break. It is so hard to go back to work after being off for a week and a half. It is so hard to go back and sit down and do critical thinking. And I'm so tired from critically thinking today.
So ready for it. I'm ready to go back. I'm also ready to take it easy. Okay. My bottom of the cob is an Instagram ad got me, and it was for something called the Vortex Hair Wand.
Oh, God. I
Because
know
I
that's
have,
not going to be good.
All of this postpartum breakage. And I was like, I read the reviews. I was like, okay. And I hate when you order something and you think, especially Amazon's been doing this more and more lately, where you order it, you like think it'll be here. It's like, oh, it's delayed. I'm like, that's because it's a thing coming from China. I wouldn't have fucking ordered it if I didn't think it was already sitting in a warehouse. I wait, it arrives. It's got all the pieces. It looks cool. I open up the manual and it was written in English, but like not quite. And the fact that this was a $200 thing and the instructions weren't in perfect English, I was like, I don't trust this. This makes me nervous.
Yeah.
If you can't be bothered as a company making a luxury product to hire someone to make the instructions, like read be a comprehensive instruction list, it makes me think it's a scam.
Yeah, even if it was just totally an American product, but it was like written like somebody was a hillbilly, it'd be like, I don't want
No,
this.
you don't have to. You don't have to like woke this, Emily. It's already coming from China. It's not like we're like, oh my God, Chinese products are the highest quality products. We love China. Like you can be from China and be like, yeah, these are a lot of human rights violations. We don't have to be like, and America has it too. No. When I'm reading these instructions and the words aren't quite right and they're in a weird order, I don't believe it. I'm putting this on my head. Like now, how do I know it's not going to burn my hair off and then I have no recourse? It's going back.
Yeah.
Going back.
Can I ask you, you said you read reviews. Where did you read the reviews? Was it on their own website?
China.com, ChinaReview.com. I guess I looked at the comments. I looked at the people who promoted it versus like a paid thing. Like just trying to, I went online and I wasn't seeing like this made my hair fall out, vortex scam. I did a research, but I also was just like, you know what it is? It's, those, when you go to the science museum and you put your hand on that ball and that electric current.
Yeah.
It's basically that. And I was like, at the very least, it's a scam. And I was like, we're returning this. So I paid for the shipping to return it. We're done.
All right. Well,
I'll
good
just have
work
weird hair.
getting it returned.
Top of the cob.
Top of the cob, a submission we got. Hi, AIA crew. My top of the cob, actually using a nice disposable / consumable item just because versus saving it for a special occasion. I know as millennials, a lot of us have the shared experience of seeing the guest soap basket in their bathrooms that we were barred from using that no guests actually used because it was more of an unspoken rule that those were display-only soaps.
And disgusting, but yes.
Yeah. As an adult, I love to occasionally splurge on a nice luxury like a designer soap bar, about $35, because they aren't going to break the bank. Come in a nice box. We love a good box. We get samples and smell so good while using it. And in my experience, make the bathroom smell like the perfumed soap for days after as well. Break the cycle. Use the nice stuff. There's no reason a random Tuesday can't be a special occasion. Rad. And then Brad linked us to the soap. And it is a Dior, Miss Dior blooming scented soap.
Okay. Well, Miss Dior is lovely. Ooh. Folks, for those of you at home, I'm rejecting all cookies. It looks like a square of pink Jell-O.
Yeah.
Blooming scented soap. Yeah. And that's a lovely fragrance. And you know what, Brad? I agree with you because you're not getting any younger. Use the nice thing. And yesterday, when I decided to eat caviar, because we went to the Vanity Fair Amazon Golden Globes party, and when we walked in, there was a caviar bar, which is delicious and elegant. But after 2 bites, you're like, oh no, I have fish egg breath. And then I had to ask security for some gum. So it's not like an elegant thing to smell, but I didn't get to eat enough. So yesterday I was like, you know what? Let's go get some caviar. So we did. And I was like, let's eat it out of the nice thing. My mom had gotten me a caviar little glass bowl that you put ice in. And it comes with little mother of pearl spoons. And I put the creme fraiche, the Armenian cream that I bought, which is a great swap if you have an Armenian store, in a Wedgwood teacup that was my grandmother's or great grandmother's. And we made it nice. And we washed it and put it away. And it was like a nice moment.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I completely agree. Use that nice soap, use that nice body wash, do it.
Yeah.
Because then it gets gross and you're like, I guess I should throw this away.
Well, and like a $35 bar of soap that like brings you joy, that's a great luxury.
And you know what the secret is that no one talks about? Because you're like, I don't want to burn that candle. I don't want to use that thing. You don't miss it when it's gone.
Right.
I'm given so many candles. I've never been like, there's one candle that I love, and if I want another one, I'll just buy it. But we're nervous anticipating this feeling of loss, but you don't have that with an object like that. Then you're like, I'll try something else, or, oh, well, that's gone. You're not like, it's gone.
Yeah.
Not a pet. Love that, Brad. My top of the cob. Did you already do yours?
No.
What?
Mine is that Isles has started a new thing where she sleeps on my legs at night. And it feels very nice because Grace used to sleep with me, but neither of these two really have since they've gotten to be not babies. But now she settles between my knees every night and she goes to sleep. And I feel like, good, I'm protecting you. We're in this together. Now, of course, then I sleep horribly, but I like it anyway.
It's the best when I just feel Tianfu's little butt like rest against my leg.
Yes.
Just knowing that they're near.
Especially when you feel like the head or the arm, like you feel it kind of slump off the side of your leg. You're like, you're so relaxed. You're
I'm like,
melting.
And she always does this deep breath, like when she's about to slip into real sleep, and it sounds like this. It's great. My top of the cob is we are about to film season 2 of Iliza's Local. So it was a show that I came up with where I pick 18 comics locally and they each do about a 10-minute set. And it's on Hulu, and season 2 is going to be on Amazon, and we're about to shoot it, and I'm going to direct it. And I'm very excited for that, step into that role. And I'm very excited about this list of comics, some local, some from other states, just people that I've worked with, people that I've seen around, and they're all very strong. And I think some of them are going to go on to do very big things. And I am excited for this. So we're filming it.
Have you not directed something before?
No, I seem like I would have, right?
You do. You do.
But more in the future. I don't know if it's even something that I just know that I can do this because it's mine. No one's going to say no. We're going to do it.
Okay.
And we're going to shoot that January 15th. And I'm going to post about it because I think if fans want to come out, it's going to be a great taping.
Yeah, that's fun.
Okay. Well, I will be in Vancouver. This is the one that we moved for the hurricane economy that is Taylor Swift. But I will see you in Vancouver on January 17th at the Queen Elizabeth Theater. And then the next date I have, aside from some local gigs, will be in Cleveland at KeyBank State. And then on my birthday, February 22nd, I will be at the Benedum Center for the Performing Arts in Pittsburgh. I'm flying to Miami to do a corporate gig that you're not invited to.
I'm not?
No one.
Can't come hear your jokes about dentists or whatever?
None of them. I'll have to Google them on the flight. And we hope to be bringing you hot, fresh new episodes in this new year. We've got some fun things coming up. That's my big tease for that because Emily's giving me the death stare.
Whenever you do your teases, I'm not going to call it a big tease. I'm going to say little tease.
Why? You and I have such great cemetery.